Hi, my name is Joanna Kleiner, and I want to welcome you to Your Voice, Your Story, Your Legacy, where I have John Talarico, the connector, and I'm so glad to have him here on our show today. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm doing great, Joanna. Super excited to be here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to it.
I'm so glad to have you here today, and thank you. I wanted to just ask you I just wanted to ask you a little bit to tell me a little bit about you and what you do, and a little bit
Sure.
about your life.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate it. Yes, you guys. My name is John Talarico, you guys. And really, I've been very fortunate to be considered one of the top uh, people in the world, really, about helping connect people to the life of their dreams, right? To connect to the right kind of thinking, the right kind of message, and really connecting to the right kind of network, how to build and create the right kind of relationships that they need to achieve the life of their dreams. And so, we've had a wonderful journey, Joanna. It's been amazing watching you grow as well. I'm a results coach. I don't like to say I'm a life coach. I'm a results coach because this is what it's all about, helping to facilitate my clients to get them to understand that they can achieve whatever they want and achieve amazing results quickly. And how do we do that? We worked together for 6 months, Joanna, as you know, right? Helping people to gain the understanding and awareness to know that they have everything they already need, that everything's already here, and that we can move forward once we make that committed decision with persistence and discipline and hold the vision of what we want, Joanna, moving forward as if it's already done, because we realize, right, everything's created twice, once in the mind and once then in the physical world. And so as I've shared with you every week, right? We can actually think our way into the results that we want in our life.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree with you. I know that we all start at a starting point, and I know that there are struggles that we have in our paradigms, in our old way of thinking. And that's one thing that I have suffered from. I can tell in my journey that the old thoughts, the old feelings, and old paradigms just kind of creep back up. But at least we are aware of what's going on after a certain point in our life when we want to focus on the way we're thinking and think differently and do different and act different. And it's all connected, and I truly
Yes.
appreciate the ability to reframe and redo how we think and how we perceive life and what we can accomplish, because you're right, we can accomplish whatever we decide to.
Yep, you're
I know
exactly right, Joanna. All the scientists, theologians, philosophers, all disagree about everything except that one thing, right? We become what we think about. And so we have to, one, realize that the only issue in the world, Joanna, is ignorance, in the sense of not knowing that there is a different way to be, act, and operate, right? To know that there is a blueprint, all based on God's law, on universal law, that if we just follow this blueprint, then we can have whatever we want, right? But you mentioned it earlier. We have these paradigms, these mental habits that have been so ingrained and programmed into our subconscious mind that it has caused us to put limits on what we believe, right? And so as we start to gain awareness, how do we gain awareness? Through knowledge, right? Knowledge to know that we can change our habits, we can change our paradigms. How do we do that? There's only really one way that I know of that works, is constant spaced repetition, reminding John and Joanna each and every day that we were created in God's image and pure perfection, that we can be, do, and have whatever we want. And that we have this other belief system, right? The one that we project to the outside world, but the one that we actually believe about ourselves, which is a false one, right? It tells us, I call it, Joanna, I call it the committee. It tells us that it's illogical to think that you could turn your annual income into a monthly income. It's unrealistic to think Joanna can be one day having a job and then the next day hosting her own podcast and doing all this stuff. It goes against what we've been taught, but we're never really taught how to think properly, how to know that we are God's highest form of creation. That, if we didn't believe in the things we could not see, Joanna, we wouldn't be having this call. We wouldn't be able to jump on that steel metal tube and fly halfway around the world, right? And so we have to be willing to one, go all in. We have to be willing to not listen to anything outside of ourselves to stop us from our goal and dream. We have to know that we can replace the paradigms with different kinds of thinking. We can choose our thoughts in each and every moment. We can operate from a place of faith rather than fear. And it's not easy, Joanna, but it's not impossible. And you see, it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people and always be studying, Joanna. You are constantly always studying, learning, and improving yourself. And you realize it's a lifelong process. So yeah, That's what we do. We have to start asking the right questions, right? Because we have all the answers to every question we could ask. And so that's what we do, right? We get our goal. We have to decide what it is that we truly want, not what we think we can get, but what is it you want? This is your movie, Joanna, right? This is my movie. And so while we're here, let's write the script of it, how we want it to be. And then it's not enough just to want something. You have to maintain a high vibration. A lot of my clients, they get frustrated because, like, John, I'm doing the work every day, and yet they're waking up, Joanna, they're angry, they're like blaming the coach, they're mad because they spilled coffee today, and so when you're in that low vibration, it's a mismatch. And that doesn't work with universal law, right? Everything you're seeking is seeking you. So it's so important to not only know what you want and be very clear about it, set a date to it, be exact, right? Some clients of mine say, well, I want to earn $1 million. And I tell them they could be 95 years old and be presented with their $1 million. So we have to be very specific. Now, there is a law of gestation, right? One of the universal laws. We know pretty much that within 9 months, how long it takes to conceive a child. We know, I think it's 70 days to grow a husk of corn. And yet we have not yet, I'm sure we will, figured out the gestation period for a spiritual seed. And so that's why we want to do everything each day that we can to move us closer to our goal and dream, hold the vision, and then never give up, Joanna, never give up, right?
Right. Well, me personally, I never give up on people, but I give up on myself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about, as people say, surrounding ourselves around quality people and being around people that will encourage us. And I do understand the concept of believing in yourself is very difficult for most people.
Right.
But having somebody believe in you, having mentors like yourself, can really aid and help us move forward in our journey. It's like having a cheerleader.
Yeah, no, yes, you're exactly right, Joanna. And I had to borrow someone else's belief in me before I believed in myself, right? And so we're all in this together, Joanna. And so I tell my clients, it's one of probably the most hardest investments we can ever make is in ourselves, right? We'll go and get what is this, $1,200? We've got the big screen TVs, the cars, and all this stuff. And yet when it comes to investing in the best piece of electronic equipment on the planet, right? Our mind and ourself, we sit there and justify and reason our way right out of it. And so I tell people, look, borrow my belief in you until you catch up to believing it in yourself. And then what do? We move and we take daily action to change. We have that self-image challenge and issue, right? Knowing that we have two. One, we project to the outside world, everything's okay, I've got it under control. But then there's the one we live with, Joanna, right? Which is the noise that tells itself, you blew it again, you're wasting time, you're too old, you don't have the contacts, you don't have the income. Now that is a false self-image. And if you haven't read Psycho-Cybernetics, I know you have, Joanna, but all of you listeners should get the book by Maxwell Maltz. We have built in us a cybernetic mechanism that keeps us on course. We are goal-seeking organism, right? Individuals. And so we're always heading somewhere. If you guys aren't programming the target, it's going to program itself, right? And where does it go? Frustration, anger, confusion, shiny objects, right? And so what do you have to do? You have to program yourself for success. You have to pick a clear date, know exactly what you want, and hold that vision, Joanna, hold it to the exclusion of everything else. And that's not easy, right? Because it seems as technology advances, it's so much easier for us to get distracted, right?
Very. It's hard to stay laser focused, especially when we have a lot of distractions. We have family, we have jobs, we have things that need to get done, and it's a little bit overwhelming. So what would you suggest somebody do if they were feeling overwhelming all the time?
Right. Great question, Joanna, because I get that a lot, right? You guys have to recognize and understand that feeling of overwhelm is a paradigm. It's a mental habit that will keep you safe. It will keep you from taking action. What do you need to do? You need to go back to the basics. Understand that you need to set a goal, not something that you think you can get, something that you truly want. You need to set a date. You need to be very clear about it. You need to be very exact. And then you got to move each day and keep yourself in that high vibration. So how do you not feel overwhelmed? When you guys are laser focused, when you're excited and really turned on and plugged into your life and your dream, you wake up, every day is a great day. You realize that if someone texts you or calls you, that's their agenda, not yours. and you don't allow those things. You recognize you're wasting time on social media. You recognize that you're allowing people outside of you, your environment, to bring you down, and you start to move, and those people will start to fade away, Joanna. You have to program your mind for success. You have to, master your mind.
Yes, you
And how do
do.
you do that? Stay around in the mastermind groups, right? That's why we meet every week. That's why we have an accountability group when everyone's with me for those 6 months, each and every day, pushing each other, lifting each other up. You guys get a mentor, get an accountability partner, and know that it's the paradigm, the mental habits that is trying to keep you from what you really want, right? We've never been taught in school how to think. We've never been taught that we have these higher mental faculties, that we have our perception, that we have reason, will, our memory, our intuition, and the greatest gift we have, Joanna, right? You've got an amazing one. We all do, but it's just our imagination, right? I see some of the
Yes.
things you do. I see some of the things that you've done for we're in our Power Voice weekly group for Les Brown, and it's that creativity that you tap into. Now, imagine if we took that same creativity and applied it to our own life, because what happens? We often do things for other people, right? Because for some strange reason, we think that they can do things that we cannot. And then what do? We put ourselves at the very bottom of the list. And then
And
what
you,
do? We get angry about it. We don't speak up about it. And then the feelings of overwhelm, well, it's just really anger turned inward, right? Because we're not going after a goal and dream, because we're putting everyone else in front of us. Prioritize, make a committed decision that you're going to work on one thing, use your will, right? The ability to focus on one thing at a time. Be disciplined, take daily, measurable, trackable action, Joanna. You have to track what you're doing each and every day. And be persistent, right? Persistence is just faith. And then
right.
move forward with accountability, Joanna.
I appreciate that. Now, moving forward, what is the legacy you want to leave for your children?
That's another great question, Joanna, because it's actually a picture of my children that woke me up finally a year ago. I was walking by in my living room, and I have a great picture of my son. He's 4, my daughter 5, together, and they live in different, actually in different countries, but got to meet a year ago, and so I have that picture. I cherish that, and I walked by that, and I looked at that for a moment. I said, eventually they're going to be an age where they're going to say, Dad, what is it that you do? And I've been very blessed and grateful, Joanna. I get to travel the world. I've a lot of celebrity clients, millionaire and billionaire clients, but something was always missing. I was helping them build their dream and to the exclusion of my own. And while it seemed glamorous from the outside, on the inside, I was dying. Like each year would pass, and I was putting off pursuing my goal and dream. And
Yes.
that day woke me up to realize that, you know what? Enough is enough. No matter what, I'm going to now do what I love to do, which is what I would love to teach and coach people how to build and create the life of their dreams. And I made a
Right.
committed decision May 15th, 2021, 2020, and I joined Bob Proctor's organization as a Proctor Gallagher consultant. But again, Joanna, this thing, the mental committee, the paradigms, it still held its daily meetings, and I actually didn't take action for 2 more months. So the other thing we want to do is remember, you guys, don't beat yourself up so much. No judgment. Learn the lesson. Know that the paradigms are trying to stop you. Replace that with different habits. Know that auto suggestion works both ways. And
Yes.
you've seen, Joanna, client
Right.
number 1 signed up on July 21st, and client number 100, I signed up in December. So because I love what I do, and it's not about me, it's about the clients. It's about people like you, Joanna, who do the work on a daily basis because they know that they want to do more, be more, and have more, and impact the world, impact their community, family, and friends. And so my legacy is to impact and influence 1 million people or more, to know that they don't have to wait 4 decades to say, "Whoa, I need to wake up." My legacy is that I gave people hope in a time that they're feeling hopeless, to know that they are God's highest form of creation, that each and
Yes.
every one of us have what I call the million in you, Joanne. It's that one unique thing that we do better than anyone else on the planet. It's our God-given talent, right? And it's our responsibility while we are here to discover that, to extract it, to bring it out, and to use that to make the world a better place.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for your time. And I truly appreciate you being present in here. And I appreciate you being a mentor that is doing the work as well and doing what you love. And I hope that everybody in the world at some point can have hope 100%, make commitments, have goals, and implement their dreams and help others with it.
Yep.
So I want to
Thank you.
thank
Thank you, Joanna. Really, and for those of you who follow Joanna, I want to just let me just acknowledge you in front of all your followers, Joanna, your listeners. What an amazing job you have done over these last several months. Really, we're willing to take action. You've literally transformed your life. All the amazing things that you're doing to touch and impact people around the world. It's truly a gift. It's why I do what I do. I love to see the results that you're getting and the impact you're making. So keep it up, Joanna.
Thank you so much. You too. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye for now.